Yeah, pick your Fugly. Welcome to Pick Your Fugly. We are here with Sam.carella. Guys, I tell you, this dude's gone through some stuff, man. I'm only here on the screen right now, but we're going to bring him up to talk a little bit more about where he's come from. But I'm your host. I'm Jeremy Winger. I'm the managing partner of Urban Planning Pros. And I kid you not, when it comes to planning, everything either rises or falls on the right way of planning a project. And Sam will tell you that because he's a lender. But this dude is built from a different cloth. And I tell you, when we get into some of the things that he's come from, but he's also seen, hopefully you walk away from this episode today with some encouragement, some insight, and some real actionable knowledge. So I'll bring him up on stage. Sam, how you doing, bro?
Hi, Jeremy. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Dude, it's good to have you here. I'm glad that you've got your email there so that way folks know how to get in touch with you as we're talking. Because, dude, I want you to just share your company's name. I want you to go into some of the stuff that you guys have seen, but I want you to share with people how you got into this and why you're passionate, because we all have our origin story as to why we're passionate about stuff. And I want you to just share the principle, not like correlating stuff or anything else like that, but just talk about the things you've seen and why you're passionate in what you're doing these days.
Yeah. So first of all, I came from Italy, which is why I'm going to speak with an heavy accent here. Came from Italy about 8 years ago, became a US citizen in the meantime. And I have a background as an engineer. So I have this analytic mind and kind of like a different approach when it comes down to real estate. I started in the industry in real estate about 5.5-6 years ago as a broker trading paper in the secondary market for banks and credit unions. And rates started to change. That particular area got a little bit messed up, a lot messed up. And,
a little bit a lot. That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I don't want to say it in a bad way, but it was complicated. But that opened up a door for me to get to know private money lenders, because they got more and more busy since then, and made a bunch of connections. And eventually, I kind of like jumped field from being a broker to actually joining Land Investors Capital, who is a direct lender nationwide, and we primarily focus on residential business purpose only. So we do fix and flip, ground up construction, bridge, and the SCR.
Well, and that's what's interesting is like from all the stuff you've seen, right? You've gone from traditional to the creative to the what we can do from land. And that's where, that's obviously my sandbox when it comes to figuring out how do we play in the dirt and how do we play in the dirt correctly. But with what you've seen from private to traditional, with today's genuine, like not just trends, but things that are happening right now that are trading. What I mean by trading, for everyone who's watching, what that means is that what is actually converting well, and that's going to give good exit strategies. And just in a nutshell, that's most relevant to what we're looking at as far as the front end of planning on a day project. Like, how in the heck, what are you seeing right now as far as just maybe asset classes, or are you seeing a trend switch over almost like from asset classes, what people are looking forward to doing, or like what are you noticing right now as far as current?
Yeah, so, well, first of all, I'm noticing a lot of residential real estate, because that's what we market. That's what I've been marketing for the last, I want to say 5-6 months. So I kind of shaded away from the commercial. But having a lot of relationship and a lot of connections, every now and then I still come across commercial deals. So I want to say that overall, I'm seeing later in the last 2 months, a lot of refinance requests for 1 to 4 units, a lot of also multifamily, 5 to 8, kind of like that gray area, 10 to 12 units, where not many lenders can do. And then, of course, you have the big multifamily, 20 plus units. But I really never focused on that, so I haven't seen a lot of those. And believe it or not, in the last week, I've seen a lot of mixed use, a lot of requests for mixed use properties. Which, again, based on my experience, I don't know that many lenders that do.
On that, though, on mixed use, define mixed use. Everyone's got their own definition of mixed use.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I think about mixed use. What I consider mixed use. Mixed use is a residential property and a commercial property. So it's a mix. It's a combination of both commercial and residential. So usually you have, for example, a 2 or 3 story building. where the first floor you have a commercial, and then
Right.
second and third floor you have residential units where people live in it.
Right.
Okay, so and then mixed use, it can be different. Like some lenders would want to have a minimum 75% residential and 25% commercial. Some other would be more flexible, like 50-50. It really depends.
Yeah.
But it's a building that is a combination of residential units and commercial.
Well, I've seen some people do mixed use of residential and industrial. And you're like, huh? Like, yeah.
I guess that's the thing.
It can work. Like, so, no, and that's wild too. I love that. That's good though, because you're mentioning certain things that are good for people to catch, because when it comes to the 10 to 18 units or even the 12, or like, so from that, even that gray area you're mentioning, it's interesting because even on the other, like on the sales side of stuff, we're noticing folks that are wanting to do not just single family homes, but duplexes, triplexes and quadplexes massively, because it pays for itself, right? I mean, I can see the appeal. Like, duh. Especially within growing towns that have new jobs coming in. And I mean, gosh, you look like Raleigh, North Carolina, Huntsville, Alabama. You look at other parts of Georgia that are growing, especially Florida. It's wild. And so I think that I think it's really cool, because with you guys, what you're focused on is you guys are really structured to help folks in a different angle than most people. Like I said, just let me give you your blood type and your firstborn. Like what how can you work with people that are in different scenarios, like say from the ground up to the refi? I would say let's talk about the ground up side of stuff, because that's where I think a lot of people don't specialize in. I'd love for us to kind of lean in on that taboo, because let's kind of also talk through some of the crazy stuff you've seen that some people are trying to do, but you're like, bless your heart. In the South, we say bless your heart is not a compliment. It's more of like a who raised you kind of comment. But like, how many, like, what would you say as far as the most common things that you're seeing that you would like, if you could say one or two things to folks that you're saying, please, let's not do this, let's do this instead, what would those be?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. One of the main things that I see, those are very common, especially on social media. And I think that's because a lot of people step in the industry and they just follow the quote unquote gurus. But I feel like a lot of people think that they can get into real estate with no money, like no money down, no experience. Oh, the lender will cover everything. I mean, I've seen a lot of requests like those. And when I see this, it's like, what do you bring to the table? If you don't bring to the table experience, if you don't bring to the table money, like, you have everything to gain, nothing to lose. And as a lender, I have everything to lose and nothing to gain, really. So that's the number one turn off for me. And I know a lot of lenders receive that as well. That's one. Two, I would say high leverage, a lot of high leverage, especially for the refinance. So I guess this is what we are experiencing now. A lot of people that have projects that they stepped into and now they want to refinance, whether it was a fix and flip or whether it was a ground up construction. Now they need to exit the short-term loan that they have, and they want to refinance the loan. But sometimes the numbers kind of like don't work. And so with appraisals in several areas of the country coming lower than expected, that kind of like changes the leverage for the deal, the availability of the leverage for the deal. Does that make sense for you?
Oh, it makes total sense.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, you disappeared.
No,
so I don't know.
No, yeah, you're good. I was giving you the floor for a second. So, but no, it's but that's where I think it makes. I mean, it's great that you're hitting on that, because there's a lot of folks that, especially the things that are coming matured, here right now in the market, and keep an eye out for that kind of stuff too, because I mean, and that kind of gets into where we look at how can we step in to assist, right? We look at different creative ways to structure deals, not like saying us as urban planning pros, but it's amazing whenever you can step in and then bring other partners to the table, right? To then be able to offload and kind of shoulder that weight a little bit. I think that's important, especially with how things are evolving right now in the market. It's crazy because of how things are, not just on the macro side of stuff, but then also because we don't anticipate those things, it punches in the face unexpectedly. And it's important to be able to highlight what things are not just coming to maturity, but then also too, how can we create that assistance and that value add, and especially that value add doesn't always mean to make more of it. It can mean potentially to making it something different, right? I mean, that's just thinking outside the box. I mean, gosh, I mean, what are some of the craziest things that situations that you've worked with people on? I mean, I know everyone's got different credit profiles, liquidity, asset backs. It's like, everyone's got a different PFS, right? Every PFS tells a story, but like what is kind of like the craziest or messiest deal that you've unraveled and then been able to bring it to the home, like bring it to home base?
Okay.
No details. Just share as much as you can.
Yeah. I mean, I will keep out like the sensitive details.
Of course.
This is a deal that we're actually going to fund next week, and was approved this morning. I mean, it's a construction loan just to. Yeah, I know. It's a over $1 million construction loan to build a single family in Georgia. It's a ground up construction. And one of the difficulties when this deal came to me, actually two of the difficulties when this deal came to me were that the property looks like rural Georgia. And per our guidelines, we don't fund rural properties. So there was, I always look at deals, right? And that's how I approach it, is what is these investors trying to do? Like, what are they trying to do? Why they want to do it there? So it's not like, oh, this is rural pass. Like, let me understand, right? And that's why communication is also very important. Whether you talk with a broker or with a borrower directly, you have to be able to communicate. Like, this business can't be done just via email, a few texts. It's like, no, you got to get on the phone and really analyze everything. So the location was a little bit challenging, just with a superficial look. And then when we analyzed the deal in depth, we found out that there were late payments in the past 12 months. So per our guidelines, if you have one late payment in the last 12 months, is automatically a pass. So those were the two challenges that we had to overcome. And the first one, we just really dug into the location, and we realized there are plenty of comps, even if it's rural on paper. And it's just an area that is just growing, it's developing. Like, everyone's is building there. So with that perspective of how this deal is going to be, how this location is going to be in 2-3 years, this is going to be fine. So yeah, rural now, but eventually won't be. So we passed, and we decided to work on it. And then when we started to do the underwriting, we came across the 2 late payments, and there was literally an internal battle between, me and my boss, and versus the credit that said, oh, this is late payments. No, we don't want to do this. But the borrower is a great borrower. He provided everything that we asked, including explanations, a letter of explanations from the previous lender of why the borrower was late. And we were able to just do an exception for the borrower. Now, keep in mind, he has great credit and he has tons of experience. Like, we looked at some of the subdivisions, some of the buildings that he built. He built like a lot of multifamily too, that are fully functional right now, fully rented, and it's just beautiful. So when we talk to credit, it's like, this is like a guy that knows his stuff. Like, we got to give him a chance to work with us. And everything went well. But also, I always want to say this, because this is not like a me business. I find the deal, I handle the communication, but really it's a all company business and broker and borrower business as well. So, when we fund these, the tank goes to, credit goes to the entire Land Investors Capital company, as well as the broker that was super efficient in communication, and the borrower to work with us in a timely manner. So when you succeed and close a loan and fund a loan, it's always like because every single person involved did his job.
No, that's the coolest part about it. Everyone's story is different, and it's a matter of, just like you said, it's like giving not just people the benefit of the doubt, but also to look at everything else considered. Right, we don't want to just throw out the baby with the bathwater, as we say in the South. Right, we don't ever want to, get a glance at it and then say, nope, I'm good. I mean, how many times, I cannot tell you how many meetings and phone calls I've had to get on with lenders who just don't read.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hard. I mean, it's hard. But I mean, on the lender,
it's not even sad as you're being nice on that. That's stupid. Like, and that is just without a filter, without anything. Like, that just doesn't make sense. It's like a realtor who doesn't call you back. Like,
I mean, Jeremy, like, I want to say something in favor of the lenders. Like, when you get like 50, 100 emails a day and your phone rings constantly. Like, sometimes
don't excuse bad processes. Don't excuse bad teammates.
Sometimes you read it fast and you kind of like skip important parts. It's just.
I know, but that's the thing. Lone Rangers, man, you got to get a team and you got to train them. There's no excuse for bad quality assurance at all, especially when you're dealing with other people's money.
Yes.
And and that is. I laugh when I say it, and I just being a troll calling that stupid, but it really it's incompetence. There's a lot of times when when folks they try to do things and they mean well, but hey, there's a lot of opportunities. There's always another one to come in, so it goes grace for everything, but.
Yeah.
That's why we want to make sure that of course, we want to make sure everyone's organized too.
Yeah.
That's the other part. I know that's the other thing. Everyone is all excited about their vision, right? Until it becomes to them presenting it to the lender. When the lender asks questions, then people disappear. I've had that happen a lot.
Yes. That is so true.
Happens every time. And you're just like, and that's where that boom comes in, right? Because it's like, look, I need all of my stuff to know what I'm doing, right? And so, anyways, I'm just
look, I mean, I just made a post last night. I mean, you're so spot on that. I just made a post last night on LinkedIn talking about how people don't want help. And you know why? Because speaking about emails and undoable deals, right? Every now and then, so every day I pass on a lot of deals because simply they don't fit my guidelines, and I know we can't do it, so I pass, right? But throughout the years, I developed a lot of relationships with other lenders, and some deals, I mean, some are just bad, and it's like no one wants to look at this, so pass. Sorry, like good luck. Some others are doable, just not for my guidelines. And so these type of deals, like I don't mind, reaching out to, responding to the borrower and say, hey, reach out to so-and-so. He's a lender. He will take care of you. He can do, last time I checked, he can do this deal. But you know how many times, I don't want to send to the other lenders junk. I don't want to do that. So sometimes I think that it's important for me to ask a few more questions. Like, for example, I just received this deal the other day to refinance a land, and it was like 100 acre land. Now I don't do land, and very few lenders do that type of acreage. Mm-hmm. And I literally asked, I'm like, do you have a land survey? Like, that's very important. Like, do you have it or not? Because I ran into a scenario a year ago where just the land survey itself was like over $30,000.
Yeah,
it was crazy. So I'm like, I want to make sure that
that's 100 acres. So yeah,
and I never got an answer. Now, if I would have gotten an answer and that answer would have been yes, I do, I would have said, all right, reach to so and so, he'll take care of you. Mm-hmm. But I never got an answer. So maybe he has a land survey, but this person was just lazy to respond. I mean, and I came across a lot of people like that. A lot.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is that a lot of people want the lender to pay for the whole deal, right? And then they forget that you have to pay for the lender's money too, right? That's kind of like goes over like a 747 over their head. And and that's part of my prayers, every week for folks, and it's just Lord, give them wisdom and planning, because it's just like, but that's where it's like, it's especially with the survey, even with phase one, environmental study report. Yeah. Like, have you done an appraisal? This kind of stuff to constitute future value, and also too traffic studies. Is it needed on everyone? No. But depending on location, maybe. Like, it's like, how do we really pour into that? And then how do we quantify value, right? And Heck, I mean, he may have got a bad bid from the. I mean, I'm not saying every survey at 100 acres is going to be 30 grand. It sounds like there's some other stuff kind of built into it, but he may have just got like, oh crud, who am I going to pay? Who's going to pay for this? And then me risk it to then someone possibly or maybe value it that way.
Right.
Who knows? But hey, that'd be I mean, shoot, on that note, that'd be a good referral for us. Heck, we could probably partner with them and GP some stuff.
I'll send you the contact. You can call him.
For real.
Figure that out.
I mean, hey, I think that'd be a cool thing because a lot of folks do get hung up in that. They're like, and it's just paralysis of analysis or analysis by paralysis, whatever. That word salad of the definition. You know what I mean? But it's like people freeze up because they get overwhelmed, and half the time, I hate that for them too. And there's a way that you have to go about it, and how the deal was approached, purchased, acquired, structures everything. And it's like, let's even look back and flip the script on it even then to go into it and plan it. Because I mean, gosh, you get, and this just goes back to disorganization, right? It's like, it's not fun ever. Mm-hmm. And golly, man, my heart literally breaks open for people, and I'm just like pouring out into them, and I have to draw it back because I'm just like, if I do this for everyone, I'm not going to do it for anyone, and then it's just, I won't be able to.
I mean, it's definitely an industry that takes a lot from, because you have to be able to manage many different personalities, many different people, many different, every deal is deal. I just had a conversation with a broker this morning, and he said, and he asked me some stuff that I didn't know that came from underwriting. Like, he said, well, but you are a loan officer, you should know everything. And I'm like, no, that, every deal is different. Like, there are some things that I just don't know because, well, this is the first time that the underwriter asked me this. I don't know why, I try to stay out of underwriting unless my help.
That needs to be another episode. Underwriting and lending, two different cousins. Like,
I mean, but here is this. I always offer to help, and I'm like, look, I don't have any immediate answer right now, but guess what? As soon as I hang up with you, I'll call the underwriter and I'll figure it out. Then I'll call you back and I'll let you know why he's asking for this specific document.
And that's something too, like with underwriting, there's ways to raise capital for debt and equity, and there's different terms for each types of monies, right? And there's so much that, you look at who, like, collaterals, like what can be cross collateralized, and all these different big word terms that we can throw out there to folks to how to structure a deal. Man, I mean, it gets back to just planning properly, right? And I mean, if it really, and how many would you say, like, deals that come across your desk, people look at real estate as the land or the building only, enough business? How many times, with deals that come across your desk, do people leave out the business plan from the real estate development? Have you seen a separation of the two almost, where it's like, here's a land and building possibly, but it's like, okay, but what's the business plan, right? Like, how are we paying for the darn thing? Right, like outside of equity.
That's a great question. I mean, I feel like to a certain degree that applies more toward commercial projects. However, in residential, I can tell you this: like, it's very important. So for me,
in the mixed use side of stuff,
right? Which I don't do. But for me, to offer the best service to any borrower and broker as well, it's very important, to your point, to understand what is the plan. Like, if you're refinancing, or you want, let's say if you're refinancing this property and you want a 30 years mortgage, 30 years mortgage comes with a 5 years prepayment penalty, and I can offer you a variety of different rates. We can't, all of them comes with different pricing and with a different monthly payment. So also every rate comes with a different pricing. I have my par rate where I charge 0 points on the SCR, but the lower the rate, the higher the price, right? And so sometimes, I mean, I want to say like 85-90% of the time, borrowers and or brokers come to me and say, we need a cash out here, send me your terms. And I'm like, okay, but what is the goal? Are they planning to just
Dude,
get
I
out
felt that from your soul.
or their current, renovation project? Are they planning to keep the property for 20 years? Are they planning to sell it in 3? Because everything, based on that answer, the solution could be different.
Yeah.
And literally, I want to say this. I lost a deal a week ago, actually 2 weeks ago, which I'm still mad about it. It's a deal that came from a broker.
I don't mean to laugh. When you asked them the question of what is their goal, I felt that from your soul, brother. Like,
Yes.
you're just like, what's the point? Like, really? Like,
it's like, no, but hear me out. Like you said, I want to help people. Like, besides, the money, the profitability in this industry, it's literally a matter of helping people securing financing so that they can continue their real estate journey. And I approach this as, there are a lot of people that can't afford to buy a home, but they can afford rent. And so if we help investors securing their, let's say, single family or 1 to 4 units property with their investment, they rented it out to other people. So technically, I'm helping the community, whatever that community is. That's how I see it. So every deal that comes to me, I approach it as I need to help this person because it impacts the community. Right?
Oh yeah.
So if they come to me and they don't have a plan or they don't disclose the plan, I'm like, help me understand so then I can help you.
Right.
Really, that's all it is.
Man, I've had people, when we do feasibility studies for them, ask how we are going to pay for their project. We have had that type of question asked to us, and it's like, and the reason why I was kind of hitting on the business model side of it, because even 2 to 4 doors, you're renting the other units out, so technically it's a business, and I think that if we reframe it that way too, it's like, and then it just becomes like, it's like, holy cow. And it creates a whole different mind shift too. And it's amazing. Even I notice in combos when, landowners will call us and we're like, hey, we have this X amount of land and we want to try and do it this way. I mean, heck, I was on the phone with somebody yesterday who wanted to design a tiny home, but I was like, have you thought about this instead? That talk through a duplex or an ADU, tiny home with an ADU, hit the bare minimum, square footage of what is a single family home, and then have one little, in the backyard or whatever. People get creative. It's whatever. And it's wild. I think that with, planning ahead, not just even too with just the equity, right? So how do we bringing all of that together to where it's going to have something where it makes sense for everyone? Because it's not just you building it. It's also
that's right. I mean,
so many other hands involved, right? And it's like, this is my Pinterest vision. Like, again, this is what I want to design. And I think that a lot of times, because of the emotions that get tied to it, especially in residential, holy smokes, man. Whew, man. Like, Honey Boo Bear, this is not going to be your forever home. Is it? Maybe. Could be. Possibly. No shame. But also, it's like, let's, again, going back to that. I felt that from the bottom pit of your soul, man. Like, it's like, what is the goal? It's like just, oh my gosh, you said it in such the most soft tone ever, but I felt it as a yell. Like, oh man. I love that about you too, man, because I know that you're there for folks, and you're built just like me. We got to reel it in, because if we try to help everybody, we don't get anything done. we end up getting burned out.
Well, I mean, you felt it from my soul, because it reminded me about the deal that I lost, and it was a doable deal, and I lost it to a competitor that offered nothing more or nothing better than I could have offered. And the only reason why I lost that deal, or I didn't win that deal, is because the broker told me the borrower wants the cheapest price, the lower rate, the lowest rate possible that you can offer. Well, I gave him the lowest rate. Turns out they refinanced the deal with interest only, which wasn't disclosed to me. They wanted that. So I gave him, no interest on it. I could have offered that. And they went with a higher rate. And I'm like, dude, I could have offered you that rate, and it would have been cheaper. You just needed to talk with me and tell me what the goal was. But, I'm the type of guy that always says, it's my fault. If something happens, it's my fault, right? And so I had to go back to my conversation with the broker. And I should have done two things that I didn't do. One was to be more clear. Hey, we have other options available despite what you're saying. And B, pick up the phone. And even, every day after I send the quote for that loan, pick up the phone and hammer the broker and say, hey, where are we with this? Like, is the borrower okay? Is the borrower upset? Like, what does the borrower want? Can I help you? I didn't do that because I was busy with other deal, but that's an excuse, quote unquote. So I lost the deal and I paid the price for it, but it's a lesson, right? And in life, we live and learn. That's what we say, right?
Hey, that's that's to the whole mission of the podcast, man. I mean, pick your fugly, and I mean, because it is what it is. That's
now my boss is gonna he's gonna watch the podcast and he's gonna fire me for this.
No, and that's the thing. I think with everything too, like with how we all learned, right? I think this is really good and encouraging for other lenders that have different products, because at the end of the day, it's a matter of being consistent, and then, I mean, we can always look at stuff. Yes, there's other things that we can always do individually, but there's also things that other folks are trying to do, stalking horse approaches to things too. So yeah, I never like that feeling either. So heck, man, I mean, in the engineering and surveying field, I mean, you either, perform or you don't, and it is what it is. And there's always more out there. Thank God. That's what, thank God for opportunities. They're like trains. There's always another one coming. So, man, but hey, that's towards the essence of the Pick Your Fugly podcast, man. I mean, really, truly, it's a matter of, it's an ugly world out there in the wild, and we just got to make sure that what brand of fugly can you deal with, really, truly.
Yeah.
And so, but no, dude, I appreciate you coming on. It's been good. I know you've been sharing from your heart, and that's where everyone is. If you want to connect with Sam and you've got projects that are in real estate right now, as far as not real estate, obviously real estate, but as far as residential, 1 to 4 doors, and also too with everything he's got his hands in, his email is right there on the bottom of the screen. So make sure you shoot him an email. Just do Pick Your Fugly or PYF in the subject line with him, so that way he knows, like, oh yeah, cool, got that, cool. And then that way you guys can connect with him on a deal. Definitely do not miss out even starting a relationship with him, because I promise you he'll fight for you. I mean, guys, the dude's a fighter. Like, he's not gonna back down from any type of deal. So, man, I appreciate you coming on, and I really do. I just appreciate you on middle of a busy week, carving out 30, 45 minutes for us to be able to talk through stories. Because I mean, people need to hear it. They need to hear it from folks that are in the field doing stuff, instead of those who are just talking from theory and trying to just sell a course. It's a matter of let's get some deals done, and let's start changing communities and changing lives.
Yeah, you hit the nail, and I want to thank you for having me. It was a great experience here, a podcast with you, and you share a lot of good insights. So it's all good. It's a conversation at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's all it is. We're just hanging out, man. I wish we had more time today, but definitely let's do guys, drop it into the comments when you see it, when this goes live. Let's go ahead and ask. Let's see if we should do episode 2 with Sam, and that way we can start diving into some other types of monies and different types of deals and how to then get structured. And if you're running into some headaches, guys, make sure you reach out to him and then just ask him questions. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask, period. Thanks, guys.
Right. Bye-bye.